In the summer of 356 BC, as legend has it, the temple of Artemis burned while a new king was born. That child was Alexander III of Macedon, destined to become Alexander the Great, the man who would create one of history's largest empires before his 30th birthday. Born to King Philip II and Queen Olympias in the ancient kingdom of Macedonia, young Alexander showed remarkable promise from his earliest days. His mother told him tales of his alleged descent from the legendary Achilles, instilling in him a burning desire to achieve greatness. As a boy, he tamed the mighty horse Bucephalus, a steed no other man could ride, demonstrating the extraordinary courage and determination that would define his life. Alexander's education was entrusted to none other than the philosopher Aristotle, who nurtured his student's curiosity about the world and introduced him to Greek literature, science, and philosophy. These early lessons would shape Alexander's vision of spreading Greek culture across the known world, a mission that would later be known as Hellenism. At just 16, Alexander got his first taste of power when his father left him as regent of Macedonia. The teenage prince quickly proved his worth by suppressing a rebellion of the Thracian Mede, establishing a military colony, and naming it Alexandropolis, the first of many cities that would bear his name. But the defining moment of Alexander's early life came in 336 BC, when his father was assassinated at his sister's wedding feast. At just 20 years old, Alexander ascended to the throne of Macedonia. Some whispered that he had orchestrated his father's death, while others doubted this young king could hold the empire together. They would soon learn how wrong they were. Alexander moved swiftly to secure his position, eliminating potential rivals and asserting his authority over Greece. When the city of Thebes revolted, he made an example of them, destroying the city and selling its population into slavery. This brutal demonstration of power ensured the loyalty of other Greek cities through fear, if not love. With Greece secured, Alexander turned his attention eastward to the Persian Empire, his father's unrealized dream of conquest. In 334 BC, he crossed the Hellespont with an army of 40,000 infantry and 5,000 cavalry. At the Battle of Granicus River, he demonstrated the tactical brilliance that would become his hallmark, defeating a Persian force twice his size. Alexander's military genius shone even brighter at the Battle of Issus in 333 BC, where he routed the army of Persian king Darius III despite being heavily outnumbered. The Persian king fled, leaving behind his family, whom Alexander treated with unexpected respect and dignity, a gesture that would help him win hearts as well as territories. The young king's next great challenge was the siege of Tyre, a seemingly impregnable island fortress. When conventional methods failed, Alexander ordered the construction of a causeway to reach the city, an engineering feat that military commanders still study today. After 7 months, Tyre fell, and Alexander's reputation for achieving the impossible grew. In Egypt, Alexander was welcomed as a liberator from Persian rule. The Egyptians proclaimed him pharaoh and son of Ammon. He founded Alexandria, the greatest of all cities bearing his name, which would become the cultural and intellectual center of the ancient world for centuries to come. But Alexander's greatest triumph came at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC. Despite facing a massive Persian army on ground chosen by Darius, Alexander's tactical genius prevailed once again. His cavalry charge broke through the Persian lines, sending Darius into flight and effectively ending the Persian Empire. Yet Alexander wasn't satisfied. He pushed eastward into Central Asia, fighting fierce battles against local rulers and founding new cities to spread Greek culture. He introduced the revolutionary concept of cultural fusion, encouraging his soldiers to marry local women and adopting some Persian customs himself, decisions that weren't always popular with his Macedonian veterans. In 327 BC, he invaded India, winning a hard-fought victory against King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes. But when his exhausted army refused to march further east, Alexander was forced to turn back. It was perhaps his only defeat, and it came not from an enemy, but from his own men's fatigue. Returning to Babylon, Alexander began planning new campaigns and working to administrate his vast empire. But fate had other plans. In June 323 BC, after attending a banquet, he fell ill with a fever. 12 days later, at the age of just 32, Alexander the Great died, leaving behind an empire that stretched from Greece to India. His death sparked immediate chaos as his generals fought over his legacy. The empire he had built would fragment, but his impact on history was indelible. Alexander's conquests spread Greek culture across the known world, creating the Hellenistic Age. He founded dozens of cities, opened up trade routes between East and West, and forever changed the course of human civilization. 3 centuries later, Julius Caesar would weep at Alexander's tomb, lamenting that at his age, Alexander had already conquered the world. Even today, Alexander's story continues to captivate us, the tale of a young king who dreamed of unity between East and West, who never lost a battle, and whose vision shaped the ancient world. Perhaps Alexander's greatest legacy isn't just the empire he built, but the way he changed how people thought about the world. He proved that the seemingly impossible could be achieved through determination, courage, and brilliant strategy. He showed that different cultures could be brought together, even if imperfectly. And he demonstrated that one person's vision could change the course of history. The legend of Alexander the Great endures, not just as a tale of military conquest, but as a story of ambition, leadership, and the profound impact one individual can have on the world. Though his empire didn't survive him, the cultural and historical changes he set in motion would shape human civilization for millennia to come.